and welcome back to the U Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. I was about to do my Sunday special intro, but no, we love a Wednesday episode too.
We already did Sunday. We had Emma Willman coming on. Great episode.
Fantastic episode.
I loved it.
Fun, open conversation. It was great.
Great episode. Yeah, you guys have something else to look forward to.
Other than this fantastic episode that we have now. I want to say thank you to the people that came out in Atlanta. I had a great time in Atlanta. The show was fantastic. It was like my first time doing this new hour on a big theater stage, and it felt great.
Yeah, I heard you you took a lot of pics by Garbage Can. Saw that on your Instagram story.
The pictures, I got to figure it out because, listen, I go to, I tell the venue, I'm like, in a comedy club, they're more likely to have that area. They're like, okay, we'll bring you out to the area and people will line up. And so at a theater, I'm like, I don't know what you guys do, but I'd like to take a picture. And they go, oh, we got it all set. After the show, they go, come on out. We'll go do it in the parking lot. I'm like, the parking lot? They're like, yeah, we don't have like another area for this. And I'm like,
can you do it like on the stage or someone else is in there?
I guess they have rules or union things. This is where they brought me. And I'm going, now we're in an indoor parking lot, okay? So like...
Oh, an indoor parking lot.
It was like an underground...
That might be the only thing sadder than an outdoor parking lot.
Here's even sadder. Yeah. Even sadder is we were on the ramp heading down into the indoor parking lot.
It's like you're at the place where they like kick people out and then they throw them into the, like when you see the security guard just like throw the person out of the venue.
Right. It was Jazz from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah. Uncle Phil would throw Jazz out into this area.
Okay.
I literally, they bring me up this ramp and I'm like, I was like, this isn't the spot. They're like, we got to do it here. We don't have another area. And I'm like, when we did You Up Live, we offered a VIP experience.
Yes.
And it was like, hey, you can pay and we'll come backstage. We'll give you a swag bag, picture. And I don't want to do that because one, I'm just like, come to the show, I'll take a picture. It's no big deal.
Right. You don't want to charge.
I don't want to charge.
I get it.
We charge for a lot of things too. When we did it, we'd get like, so there was remember we get some cities.
Shows would be like one person, and then like it was kind of embarrassing for the one, like for us.
For us,
it was more. Yeah, it was embarrassing for us because like, but then I felt like worse for the person that was like the one person because it's like we could have just given you this, I guess.
Well, right, and they also they didn't want all of our attention.
Right,
you could tell they were like,
"Do you have a question?" They'd be like, "No, I'm good, thanks."
Yeah, see ya. This is awkward now. Yeah. Like it felt like they became not a fan from the experience.
Right, like I'm the only one. Someone gifted me this, I think. I don't really even know you, and then you'd be like, "Was this a mistake?"
Do you remember when they would be like, "There's one person for the VIP"? We'd be like, "Well, just bring them back to the green room," and we'd be like offering them drinks and food.
We'd be like wanting to make sure they got their money's worth.
Right.
Yes.
So
nothing more humbling than. Zero is better than one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, listen, you're talking, this is the most humbled podcast that's popular that's ever existed. Because we don't think because we go back to those times of like, and if you're out there listening, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not your fault.
That humble us. I mean, in another humbling event, and we'll talk about your non-humbling event. When we had our books come out for Betches, we would do like a little book tour, and sometimes we'd get like a good crowd. We'd go to like a bookstore to promote the book. But more often than not, we would go to like a Barnes & Noble in New Jersey, and there was like one person there who just happened to be in the store and was like, oh, like, let me just like sit down. I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
And we'd be like talking about the book, and they'd be like, oh, like, that's so great. You wrote a book.
Right.
Like, and we're like, but that was
so
even
great.
worse because it was like there wasn't even a show. It was just like us, like full hair and makeup, like got a car to this random Barnes & Noble in New Jersey, and there's just like one person who literally just accidentally stumbled in there.
They came to use the bathroom at Barnes & Noble.
Right.
So
what's going on here?
Oh, okay. I guess I'll sit here after I took my shit.
Exactly. But they'll ask a question. They'll be like, what's the best part about writing a book? Like with like absolutely no context.
Totally general.
Yes.
So, what was the highways traffic situation like getting down here from the city?
Exactly. Yeah. Very humbling, but this was not that. It sounds like.
So there was a line of people.
You're like, not like you're a loser situation. This was a
theater show. I am a theater act now. So I purposely wait after the show. I say during the act, it actually was all clumsy. In the middle of the show, and I won't do this anymore, I go, hey, I just want to thank everyone for coming. If you want to take a picture after, I would love to take a picture with you. The showroom thought the show was over. They like rose the lights and opened the doors, and people were like starting to make their way out. I'm like, no, the show isn't over. Like, can you, I have like the ending of this show to do.
Right.
And so then they like leave the doors open. Now it's like bright and it's like, so I end the show. Vibe is off. I end the show. It did go well. And I wait in the back to like let people go who don't want a picture. I think it's being polite. It also gives me, let me just say, personally, I like to take a minute to myself after being on for over an hour on stage.
That's fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you want to get out of there and you don't want to like look at me while you don't get a picture with me, you can get going. Let me let you get out of here. And if you want to line up, I'll be out within 15 minutes of the show ending, 20 minutes maybe. So if you want to wait around, that's the cost of the picture with me.
Right.
Okay, fine.
15 to 20 minutes of lingering.
Yes. And it will, my plan is to say hello, introduce myself. I'll say, hi, I'm Jared. And some people are like, can't let that go. I know who you are. I know. I'm trying to make this interaction as clean as possible.
You're trying to be humble.
A little bit humble.
Okay.
What are you going to walk up? You know me.
Right.
You're welcome.
Well, it's like to bring it to dating, it's like if you go on a dating app date, and
right.
you could say, if
Hi,
you
I'm
introduce
Jared.
yourself, it's not because you think the person doesn't know who you are. It's just, but you're assuming, you're introducing yourself.
You're
it's
going
polite.
through the motions of politeness.
Yes.
Right. So, which is polite, going through the motions.
Yeah.
And
do you do that from a dating app date?
of course.
Hi,
I'm Jared. Great to finally meet you.
Right.
That's a great opening line.
Every celebrity also that we've ever, you know what I mean? Like any celebrity we've had on this show or that I've ever been on a podcast with will always, hi, I'm Rebel.
Hi, I'm right. Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, like I know, obviously, but it's nice. But like that's the nice thing to do.
Right.
You don't assume anyone knows who you are.
There's a line of people waiting in the parking lot down the ramp, or to the top of the ramp that the cars would go into the underground parking lot.
Right.
So they bring me out, and I walk up the ramp, and we start doing pictures, and it's like it's already awkward because like now we have a picture at an angle. Like there's now the tall person's going on my right, the shorter person's going on my left to even out the angle of the slant that goes down into the underground parking lot. And they're taking pictures. The lighting is off. And in my mind, we've all lost because I want to take pictures for personal reasons of you'll post it and maybe someone will go, who is this? And follow
Marketing
along.
yourself,
There's a marketing aspect. The venue should want marketing from it because like, hey, we were at a show at a theater that's near your place. Oh,
Beautiful
what's the theater?
By the Garbage.
Right,
Yes.
the Garbage Theater. That's where I performed.
Yes.
So I'm like a cat in a Disney movie, just performing. Yeah, I'm Cats.
Yes.
What's the name of the cat from Cats?
I'm not a big cat.
Right,
Jellicle Cats.
No, it's Periwinkle. What's the name of the?
Which one was Taylor Swift?
Right.
Someone who loves Broadway is screaming right now.
They're so mad.
It's not Gus, is it? You're
No,
not
not Gus. It's not,
definitely
that's
not
not
Rebel Wilson
sound.
was Jenny Anydots.
No.
Jennifer Hudson was Grisabella.
Nope.
James Corden was Bustifer.
Did they
But
change
could
the
be
name?
Cavity, Bombalurina.
There was one
Bustifer.
famous name, not Bustifer. Wasn't there a famous cat's name?
What was like the Cat King's name?
Yeah. The Cat King.
The-
King
The
Cat.
king of the cats.
All I know about this musical is to stay away from the movie.
Yeah, the movie
I
did
mean-
not do well.
That was Taylor Swift's like only acting foray.
No, she did Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get it.
Another hit.
Maybe there wasn't a name.
Mr. Mistopheles?
No, I guess
Tumble
there was.
Brutus.
Why did I think? I thought the same as you. I thought there was like one name that was like
Yeah.
the funny name.
The
Rum
special-
Tum Tugger.
That
Rum Tum
sounds
Tugger.
right. Okay.
No, it was something weird. Okay, so.
You were a fucking cat.
I'm
Okay.
the cat from Cats.
Okay.
Performing on a dumpster. So I'm now at the top of the ramp taking pictures, if you can imagine it, looking into the road of the ramp. So I am now at an angle.
Okay.
The line to my left. The people taking the pictures are from the theater. Suddenly, a group of elder teens form across the road. Apparently, there's 3 venues at this theater. One of the venues has a Christian rapper. And these young elder teens are all God people.
What's an elder teen, like a 19-year-old?
19. They were like
Okay.
18, 19, 20, no more, no less.
Okay.
And it's a group of them, and they are Jesus people. No offense to Jesus people. I'm just saying this is what
they
they were.
are. Sure.
They were congregating at the Jesus Rappers show to find like-minded people. And they see the line of people for me to take pictures, and they're going, Jesus, find Jesus, go with God. And then they see that it's for me. They go, Jared, you don't need money. You need Jesus. They somehow believe because I'm taking pictures that I've chosen money over God.
Okay.
And you can't hear a thing because you're in an enclosed parking garage. Have you ever had someone yell in a parking garage? It's like unhearable. It's echoey. So they're going, Jesus, Jesus, oh, go with God. Oh, find Jesus. And everyone is just like, what's going? It was like chaos. And then they go, the guy who's taking pictures, he goes, hey, why don't you move down the ramp?
The guy who's taking pictures is just taking this for fun, right? Or no, he's
No,
from the
it's
venue.
from the venue.
Okay.
And then there's a security guard. He goes up to the Jesus kids. He goes to like tell them, hey, like calm it
Do
down.
they know who you are?
They don't know who I am. They just know that there's people taking a picture with me.
Okay.
I don't care what you're yelling at people. No one wants to do whatever you're promoting if you're screaming it at them.
Right.
I mean, that message could be given to me. I'm a big screamer. But I'm just saying... I'm just saying, like, we couldn't hear ourselves. The idea that one person in line is going to go, you know what? I think I'm going to go with a life of Jesus because of those elder teens that yelled at me in the parking lot. Like, that's
Right.
not going to happen. So I don't even think they wanted that. They just wanted to bother us. So then the security guard was like, hey, move down the ramp. So then we moved down the ramp towards the dumpster. So now we're taking a picture in front of a dumpster to get away from the Jesus teens. And people from the line are a little bit drunk from the show, which is understandable. And they're going, why are we taking a picture in front of a dumpster? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you about this. Like,
Right.
and then they go, hey, Jared, the Jesus rapper is going to end soon and they're all going to let out. We got to hurry up these pictures. So now we had to like hurry up the whole thing. It was a disaster. So I'm going, hi, nice to meet you. Take a picture. Get out of here.
Right.
Shoo, fucker.
Well, you need like an assistant.
It
move them
was
along.
right, and
Right.
we moved them along. We got the pictures done in like 5
Get
minutes.
the fuck out of here. Right.
I left feeling horrible, like because I was like, "Fuck!" Like
Sounds like you got to go back to VIP ticks.
it sounds like I'll take the one over what happened there.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, the crowd in Atlanta was so fantastic. The show was so good. I'm going to do Huntington, Long Island this week, and I'm sure
I'll
it's
be
going to be
there
just as
with
good.
like 10 of my closest friends.
You're bringing a big crew.
I'm bringing a big crew. Nothing made me feel like a bigger because I didn't want to ask for that many tickets, but then everyone was saying they wanted to come, and then like it's hard to get the comp tickets next to the paid tickets,
Right, and it's awkward.
So then, right,
It's awkward to be like, well,
you can,
us
right,
6 are going.
You can buy tickets, and we'll see you after.
Right. I
Right.
get it. So
I
don't worry,
apologize.
Papa JT.
I feel.
Don't
I felt.
apologize.
I was like, I can't do this.
There's,
but then
you're
I did it.
apologizing to me, and I'm like, in what world would I be like, Jordana? No.
You've
like,
talked shit about people asking you for like a ton of tickets.
I have, but, but it's not you.
I have a memory.
Right, that's fair.
Other people. It's other. Right.
It's going to be a reunion of your wedding. I'm excited. This whole crew.
Everyone's pumped.
My
yeah.
heart is genuinely warmed by the Mike and Jordana crew.
The people love you.
Yeah.
They're coming in from the city. People
Love
are,
it.
again, someone has your show is the same night as Travis Scott, and
A lot of competition in the area.
People are coming here.
Yeah,
That's
listen, yeah, and so this, I guess by this time this comes out, that
It's
show will
over.
be done.
I'm sure it was great.
I'm in Seattle, Washington this weekend, which Seattle, you guys came out. I mean, this first show sold out. There's probably tickets available for the second show. Charlotte, I'm coming there. Philly, there's a second show added. Philly people, if you haven't got a ticket, like that second show might be me and the cats from Cats. So
Plenty of picture time.
plenty of picture time for the second show in Philly. Syracuse, New York, DC, Baltimore, Dania Beach. Dania Beach is near Fort Lauderdale, so I say Fort Lauderdale, but that's where I'm going. Portland, Arizona, San Diego, Boston, second show added, Chicago, second show added. And in addition to all this, if you're like, I am in none of those cities or I don't feel like paying $1 to see you fucking asshole on stage. I have done the Bachelor preview,
Ooh,
Golden Bachelor preview.
Golden Bachelor.
I came
I'm
out.
excited.
I came out of the
We
woodwork.
are excited.
We're
Yes.
very excited.
We had Jerry on last week. He was wonderful.
I've seen episode 1.
And you said it's amazing.
If you don't cry, I cried twice in the first 10 minutes. You can't. It's unavoidable.
Like real tears?
It's a 47-minute show. It
That's
goes.
it.
It's only an hour.
Okay.
It goes by. You want 10 minutes more, but you don't want more than that.
That's the perfect show.
It's a perfect show.
Yeah.
And it's in the first. I know Jorge. I don't want to give it away too much but Jorge's a huge Bachelor nut like myself. He is so TV ready that it's like. It's amazing. Kay York City, the coach for The Bachelor, she made mention. She's like, maybe that's why it took so long for it to come out. They were like training him for 2 years in a basement, like getting him ready. But it is in the first 10 minutes, you're like, and it's funny the way, older people go from like conversationally, go from like the saddest thing in the world to like not like it never happened.
What do you mean?
Like your mom, if I call my mom, she'll be like, so-and-so's dead. Also, have you gotten the pants yet?
Right.
Like the way these women do that,
Well, I think
happens a lot.
Right. I think that's kind of great though, because I think it shows that the older you get, the more you're kind of like seen it all.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And you're like resilient and you've kind of like, you've been through it all and you've survived, and it's kind of like it is what it is.
Even retelling what happened in the show in the first 10 minutes, I started tearing up from retelling it.
Wow.
Like it's such a beautiful thing. Like it's like, and it's a very optimistic show. It's funny. I mean, seeing Gary make out made me viscerally respond. Like I saw him make out and I was like, I started laughing and yelling, and it wasn't gross. It wasn't. It was just.
Was there tongue?
It was just different. You see your parents kiss, but you don't see them make
You
out
really
generally.
don't see older people make out ever.
This was actually progressive. Like if I'm gonna like get into it, like I live streamed it. So if you want to watch it through my eyes, you can go on my Instagram. It's on my stories and my highlights.
A true makeout, not like an old person peck.
It is a true, to the point, because we got screeners for the Bachelor podcast. I was watching in bed on my phone, and I started going, Gary, what's going on? And I was like, out of body.
Watching your grandpa.
There's a lot of grandmas on this show and a lot of grandkids I feel sorry for. Rest in peace to their souls.
I mean,
it is. There are, and also there's just
breaking barriers here. Yeah.
It totally. I mean, there's got to be a Golden Bachelorette. There has to be. Like
right.
I'm petitioning. I
get it. Yeah.
Get it. I mean, and the women are, like, here's the other thing. The only annoying part about the show is they all are blowing smoke up each other's asses. It's like, we're amazing, we're wonderful.
They're too friendly with
too
each other.
friendly.
Yeah.
And again, it's episode
early.
1. Look
It's
at all
early.
these amazing women. It's like, you don't know these bitches.
Right. Also, old people talk shit.
Right. There was
Like,
one woman who.
You ever seen a retirement center? Or like
I was
your parents?
just in Boca with
Yeah.
my parents. It's high school.
Yeah.
The nerds, the jocks, the losers, the Ozempics. They're all over the place. There was one woman who was great, who was talking, Kathy.
Okay.
Kathy was like the heart and soul, like the narrator.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go more than that. Again, they've like sponsored us, but like people know my background with the
organic.
show. This is organic as it gets.
I'm really excited to watch. It's coming out tomorrow from when we're recording it. I'm definitely gonna watch.
You got to text me to let me know.
If I cry,
I gotta want to know if you cry.
It takes a lot to get me to cry, but
I don't know how you can't cry.
Is it because of like the stories of like death and stuff?
Yeah and no. Like it's.
Okay.
You feel good for these people. You feel good. And I mentioned this on the Bachelor podcast. If you listen to both shows, this is a repeat, but it's a conclusion I came to from watching it. How great it is that these women get to showcase themselves for other people out there. We live in a great wide world of the internet, and your parents know how to use Facebook, Facebook Messenger and DMs. Like the DMs is a young person's game, but like your parents are doing that too. The fact that these women can go out and be like, hey, I'm a live, vivacious person. And like, there's gonna be a guy in Boca. Like I was just in Boca with my parents. There's a guy in Boca who's going to message them and be like, I got to meet this woman.
That's
Which
great.
is like, I think the greatest part of this, underratedly.
Right.
So
I think anything that empowers a woman over 60 is amazing too, just because like I feel like society gives so little like attention.
I'd fuck them all.
Well, we'll end there. We'll end here.
I don't know if that would
Yes.
help any of them. Does that help their confidence? I don't know.
It
One
might.
random fucking chubby Jew in New York would.
I mean, maybe, you know, there's love. There could be love match for you.
They're,
We'll
they're
see, yeah.
all fun.
Yeah.
I will say at a minimum,
Do
there was
you have an age cap? Highest you would go?
152.
Very fair.
Right.
What's your age gap on Hinge? Yeah.
well,
Okay.
I'll go nowhere above 8 feet and nowhere above 152. Those are the two parameters.
Don't
that
be so selective, Jared. You're
I-
so picky.
You're right. I'm getting
So
older.
picky.
I got to find someone.
Okay, well,
How are you?
I'm good.
How's suburbia? How you feeling?
it's going. It's got a lot.
That's the key of all good.
It's going. It's going. To be honest, I've had better months, but it's going.
Hmm.
Life is
Anything we want to talk
yeah.
about? You're okay.
I'll talk eventually, but it's things are moving.
Well, I will say I've listened to Oversharing a lot. It is my soothing. I was listening to the beginning of one the other day where you had the boundaries woman.
Yes.
I like
Boundaries
that.
woman.
It was a topic I didn't expect, a topic I was happy to hear about.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a
Very interesting conversation.
interesting because you don't think of boundaries as like a health thing or like
Right.
I don't know. Boundaries kind of come last for me. I related a lot to the idea of like, yeah, other people can feel the way they feel.
Right.
And
I
they're
think
not- and that's not your
difference-
problem.
And the difference between, boundaries and preferences
Mm-hmm.
are also a very interesting thing. And also, if you're listening to this now, we have 2 new meditations out if you're a subscriber for
Ooh.
Oversharing. And one of them is, waiting at a doctor's office or for medical results. And the other one is about feeling your feelings, which a lot of people, ask a lot of questions about. And this really walks you through the whole thing.
Can I make one for first dates? Like
Yeah.
like an alternate. I'm sure you've already done first dates.
Yes.
But I would love to be able to do a fun one.
Let's do it. We'll do that
Let's do
for
it.
our November meditations. We'll get Jared on for the.
I'll do a 5-minute.
I want to see a remix with you and Naomi.
Yeah.
Where she's like, relax, take a deep breath. And then you're like,
And I'm like,
let out a fart. or
Yeah, how'd you
something.
know?
I know you.
Yeah,
it's,
you did
it's,
know me.
we're almost at 6 years of this podcast. I knew that was where this was going.
We're there almost. That's crazy.
That's nuts, right?
6 years.
6 years of fun.
Look at us.
Look at us now.
Look at us now.
Yes. All right, well, let's get into the episode.
Let's get right into it.
As we
24
do.
minutes in.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to cut out some of this because of the cats.
Cats.
For those at home, we had about 10 minutes of looking for
About looking
the
up cats.
cat's name. There's no main
There's
cat.
no main cat. Okay.
Oh, this is good to know.
One of the biggest myths out there is that
Right.
there's a main cat.
We both believed in that for our
Yes.
lives.
All right, I'll read the email. Hi, Jay. I like this one. Hi, J&J. I've been dating my boyfriend for about 3 years. A couple months ago, we planned a trip to Chicago to visit some college friends for the weekend. These friends were my roommates, but they were also in the same friend group as me and my boyfriend. So we were planning to go on this trip together. A week before the trip, my boyfriend decided he didn't want to come anymore. However, he gave me the response, I'll come if you want me to. Don't like that one. He used this line in the past for events of ours involving mostly my friends and family that he doesn't want to go to.
Okay.
That's a very annoying response. I think it's worse for him to say this instead of just telling me he's not coming and apologizing for the last minute change. I feel like him saying, I'll come if you want me to, this I'll come if you want me to line is unfair and puts all the pressure on me. I told him I don't need him to come with me, but I find myself feeling upset with him for being a stick in the mud and using this phrase on me. My questions. Is this, I'll come if you want me to, line a normal occurrence to experience in relationships that I just need to get used to? Is there a good way for me to answer this other than just telling him not to come? How do we compromise on future events that one of us is less than excited to attend? Thanks, a confused Betch.
Tough one. There's
Yeah.
like a bunch of different answers to this.
True.
I guess my first question to you is, has this occurred in your relationship?
It has.
I mean, I'll come if
Yeah.
you want me to is a
I've
thing
used,
that happens.
He's used this line. I've used this line. I think the key is the frequency that this line is used is sort of like the main question to me.
Uh-huh.
Because sometimes there is like a kind of thing where it's like, I don't really need to go to like your like second cousin's baptism, right?
Right.
But if you really want me to go, like I'll go. I don't think you really care, right? Is like sometimes the question at hand.
It's interesting.
I think the less significant the event, the more it can be used. This is like a trip that they're planning on going to see her friends that she's clearly going to. I think it's
Their friends,
right? Yeah,
supposedly.
right. Supposedly. To me, it's kind of like I think it's weirder that he doesn't want to go to this than that he's using that line. Like it's like there's one thing if there's an event that clearly like no one wants to go to. Like no one really wants to go to like a 1-year-old's birthday party, right?
Right.
Like no one wants
I
to
guess
go to
like
that.
there's, it's interesting. I didn't expect your answer. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I had the bris of a second cousin and it would trickle down the line. It would be my parents going, Jared, you got to go.
Right.
And then I would say, I'm going to this. If I was in a relationship,
Right.
I would say, I'm going to this. You don't have to come. Or I would say, we're in.
Right.
It would be like one or the other. Like, I feel like I would be the one to get in front of that.
Like you would be the one saying like you don't have to come.
Don't come. I'm
Right.
going. Goodbye.
Yeah, I would think one person would usually phrase it like that.
I would think the person whose event it is
Right.
in a relationship.
Right. Or if you'd say, I mean, if it's phrased like I'm going to this thing, if you want, like, you could like not start with
Right.
the out, like, do you want to come?
And then they might agree to come.
Or they
and
might
then
say,
later
like-
they go,
Right.
do you need me to come?
Right.
I've kind of rethought
Yeah.
it. I would understand all of those things.
Totally. And I think in that context, if you want me to come, I'll come makes a lot of sense when it's not the person's thing.
Mhm.
They're not necessarily particularly close to the person having the event.
Mhm.
And it sort of is just like they becoming almost as a favor to you. And that's clearly obvious.
Right. And as a couple,
Right.
hey, we're going to do this thing together.
Right.
It's just something we do together.
Yeah,
and
there's something to do.
Something to do.
Right.
Instead of us staring at each other and at our phones.
Right.
But I think when you're in
this is
this,
different.
I think this is different. I
Right.
agree with you.
Because of the event that it's being done. If it was like, I'm going to Thanksgiving at my parents', like, and the person's like, well, if you want me to come, I'll come. It's like, that's weird.
Right. There's no we in this to me.
Right.
Like, this is very like, I live on my island, you live on your island, and you force me to come to your island when it's important to you. That's like not a relationship to me.
Right.
Like, to me, it's like,
Especially when it's an event that's important to that person. Like if she's traveling to Chicago to go see their supposedly mutual friends, that's an important thing to her.
I don't actually, I hate doing this, but like, there's so much left out of this email.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the idea that like a couple months ago, we planned
right.
a trip to Chicago to visit some college friends for the weekend. These friends were my roommates, but they're in our larger friend group as me and my boyfriend. Okay. To me, these are your friends for a trip that you planned to go see them.
He agreed to.
And he said, sure, I'll go. Like,
right. And you
that's-
bought tickets.
Right.
supposedly
But
you got-
I mean, the way I just told it is different than the way she's telling it here. I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know.
there's somewhere in between those two.
Okay.
Where it's like, he clearly knows these people very well. It sounds like they've been dating since college.
Right.
They're her roommates, but they're like, it sounds like it's not like they're her old friends and they met after college, and these are friends that he doesn't know that well. Like, clearly he knows
Right.
them very well. He booked the tickets to go with her. This to me is like flaky in a way that's very annoying.
It's also bizarre. It's actually it's not.
But she says he's done this a lot.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, it's actually a bizarre way to go. Now, why is it bizarre? Because you go along with the planning and all this, and it's our trip, but then all of a sudden you'll want me to go.
Right.
It, to me, maybe he's dealing with, and again, I don't mean to get like too serious, but like maybe he's dealing with like depression issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because the idea that you go, like, it's just bizarre to go from planning together to,
Do you think he's trying to break up with her?
well, that's the other route. It's either like, I don't know how I'm going to be feeling on this particular day, and the only thing to get me out of this feeling is to back out of events that are planned with other people so I don't have to be around them when I'm feeling down.
Right.
Or it's, I'll make every decision yours so that it won't be blamed on me
You came
when
to
we
my,
when
right,
we
you came to
break up.
Chicago. Right.
Right, but we went to Chicago. No. You wanted me to come to Chicago. That's why I came.
Right. Well, that's why it's kind of a cop out, and I
Right.
find it to be like very irritating because I agree with her to say like I'll come if you want me to makes it like if she says yeah I want you to, she seems like she's like now he's doing this thing that he doesn't want to do and she's making him, so it puts her in this position of like, oh, it just puts a damper on the whole trip, like, oh yeah I want you to, and I think it's different than like this is my cousin's bris,
Right.
where it's like
totally different.
where it's like we all know no one wants to go to that,
right.
but like I think this is different.
Also, we made this trip together.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be like a fun trip that you opted into.
Right.
That wasn't like you've already previously agreed to, and now when you go, it's gonna feel like you did me a favor.
Right. At what point did the dial switch from our trip to I'm making you come?
Right. And to do this often, I think one time I would give it a pass. I think one time is like, okay, you have a lot going on at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know the trip is kind of like annoying, or you have something else that came up, or like maybe you're just really not. You're like you said, you're kind of like in a funky state where you feel like you wouldn't be great on the trip.
Right.
One time, I get it. If you're doing this often, I think it's fucked up.
And I don't know. The languaging would be so different to me if you were together.
Mm-hmm.
So the languaging of like, hey, I'm really not feeling great. I really don't want to go. Can you go with your friends? And I'm just going to opt out. Would be like kind of the normal thing with a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
The abnormal thing is then making them the person who forced you to come.
Right.
I just don't know where that comes from. And
so that you can both resent each other. So you can resent them for being there, and they can resent you for not wanting to be there.
And it'll be the reason that you suck on the trip.
Right.
There's like an out. Well, he didn't want to come anyways. That's why I'm acting like a dick.
Yeah.
I don't know. The breakup things has gone through my mind because, and again, if they started dating,
I feel a lot for like weddings. Like, oh, I'm not going to come to your friend's wedding.
Well, going to the friend's wedding, she says he's done this for family events, which is actually embarrassing to you and your family.
I agree.
If you've done this for family events, you've done this for friend events, and it's all your events, as she said, he might be putting the brakes on this thing because he likes you and he doesn't know how to get out of this.
He's trying to show less FaceTime to like less intertwine himself into your life.
Right.
I think this is worth a real discussion.
Absolutely.
I do think it's a little disrespectful. I think if you respect someone and you respect their time and you respect the plans and the effort that they put into doing that, and respect that you want to be integrated into their life, and I think part of that is showing up to things that you've said you're going to go show up to.
This makes sense though for a post-college boyfriend.
Right.
Like the college boyfriend who became your post-college boyfriend
is now dealing with real world you.
Right.
Yeah.
And is now backing out of that because the more intertwined, as you said, they get with you, the more they got to dig out of it. The hole gets deeper.
Right.
So I can understand why she's so befuddled. She's like, but these are our friends. No, they're not. They're your roommates.
Right.
That he's trying to avoid a little bit more because he doesn't want to become too much with you.
Right. Well, I think as annoying men do when they don't want to just be upfront about how they're feeling.
Right.
Or break up with you.
Yeah, I've been that guy.
He's just going to say, if you want me to come, I'll come until you decide you've had enough.
He's trying to get you to dump him.
Yeah, which is, I think to me, that is like the worst thing that men can do. And I think that I understand why they do it. It is very, like, confrontation is scary and it's uncomfortable. And I sympathize with not wanting to tell someone how you feel. But to me, that's like a slow torture to someone. It's like you make the person go crazy and then decide they've had enough when that was the result you wanted the whole time.
Right. It's bad that the thing he wishes for most is that one of your friends will tell you to dump him.
Right.
For not coming on the trip. It's like,
and they'll have to be like, well, if you, okay.
Or he's dealing with depression issues.
Right.
I actually I'm not someone who knows anything about depression or all that stuff, but just the change in mood to me when you're like and then if you don't, I'll go if you want me to go is like,
or secret option C, super selfish, just like wants to go 1 minute, kind of doesn't, when it comes to the trip, he's like, actually I not interested.
Right. And then I think at this point you put all three cards on the table.
Which one are you? Pick one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what this is. And when she asked at the end, like, if, how do we compromise? Like, you are compromising.
Right.
When you say to someone, hey, let's do a trip to see our friends in Chicago, that is a discussion of compromise.
Great. All right, let's do some awkward sex.
Let's do it. I'll get to the email. Hi, J&J. Feather. Your DC show was awesome. And Jared, big congrats on the special. Thank you. 37 and Single. Streaming right now.
On Netflix.
On the big Netflix.
On the is it the silver screen TV or is that movies?
Silver Screen's movies.
Oh,
I think.
okay. I think
right?
I've been using that wrong for.
Silver Screen's TV? Yeah. The Silver Screen was like the grand.
Okay.
The movies.
Silver
right?
screen is movies. Little screen is
Little,
TV.
I'm
Streaming
on the
right
little
now
screen.
on the little screen. It makes it sound a little more depressing.
Yeah, a little. It took a little bit
Some
of the
TVs are very
thunder
big.
away. Yeah, no, I got a big TV, so
Yeah.
jumping right in. About 3 months into seeing this guy, me 29 female, him 34 male, we took a trip to my family's beach house for a little romantic getaway.
Ooh.
We'd been slowly learning what the other likes in bed since getting to know each other, and he'd always been kind of averse to me going down on him. Okay, him and I, different people. I'd ask him why, and he always said they were just like his. I had asked him why, and he always said they just weren't his fave. Didn't like the ones he'd gotten from past partners, and he'd get in his head, especially if it took him too long to come, and he'd feel bad for the person going down.
I feel like a lot of women don't like being gone down on for this exact reason.
Interesting.
Yes.
It's funny that I think that men, him saying this made her a more motivated blower.
Right.
Like when
I mean,
you
that might
say
work
that,
for men too.
right?
Yeah. But I think a lot of women have that feeling of like, it's hard for me to come. I don't, I feel bad like with you just
Right.
being the one to like having to figure this whole thing out. And even if I'm helping you, like sometimes you're just not in the mood to be like
prodded
playing
at.
teacher.
Yeah.
And I could see why you'd be like, let's just,
Skip it.
Yeah, I think a lot of I've heard that a lot from women. So I think it's refreshing to hear that from a man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This guy and I have no relation to one another whatsoever. I'd been taking notes on what seemed to work best for him. And during this particular weekend, all my hours of intense studies seemed to finally pay off. Maybe too well.
Ooh.
Oh, I like
Dun,
it.
dun, dun.
The first night, I tried again, and he commented that I was getting way too good at that. That gave me a boost of confidence and thought I might finally have his cheat codes down. I like this. The next day, we were hooking up again, and I pulled out all the stops. As I'm going to town, I hear him start to incoherently moan, "Oh, God, oh, God." I really started going for it and could taste that he was about to blow his top. All of a sudden, I hear a perfect little bubble of a toot come from his butthole, followed by the distinct smell of a fart.
The distinct smell. Bottle that.
That was fart. Then another and another, all while he's coming in my mouth. His ecstatic, "Oh, God, oh, God," turned into a horrified, "Oh, God, oh, God." While he completely lost control of all faculties below the belt.
Wow.
Whoa. Meanwhile, I'm holding on for dear life, trying not to make a mess and not shock him by dropping his dick while he's coming. But between the smell and my laughter while my mouth was full and still on him, I had to abort and go spit in the sink. I immediately turned back to the bed, and he was curled up in the fetal position with the most horrified and embarrassed look on his face. Total freak out mixed with post-nut haze.
Maybe that's the real reason.
Right.
He was like, I actually don't want you to go down on me because I know I'm going to fart uncontrollably.
I fart when I come?
Uncontrollably.
I just like the thought of him being like a total, like, he's just come and fart at the same time. He's just like an amaze.
It's all coming out.
Right.
A purge.
I burst into tears laughing. I told him I loved him on the last day of the trip, and we're now 5 months official. And going strong, BJ Blowhole. What do you think of this?
I love this. This is so romantic.
What a romantic story to
Yes.
realize you found the way to his heart, his fart.
It's the way to his fart. I love that.
There's my name.
There you go. I love
Yeah.
that. No, I think this is great. It's a vulnerable moment can really bring you together.
Absolutely. And like showing that you're laughing and not
Yeah.
icked out, so to speak.
I can see why she felt comfortable saying "I love you" after this display of vulnerability.
Really?
She was like, "Listen, I'm gonna say I love you, and if he doesn't say it back, he's some loser who
Right.
just farted the entire time I went down on him."
Yeah.
You know, he's in a he's also in a vulnerable position.
I've seen him at his lowest.
Yes.
Yes. What have you ever had to fart while a guy went down on you?
I think I do think that when you're like, you know, getting out of your head and releasing your inhibitions, that's part of it. Right?
Release your inhibitions.
That's what that song was about.
Fart on my face.
How about
How's
you?
that song go? Release your inhibitions. Fart on my face. Is that how the next line is different?
It's
I
feel
felt-
the fart on my face.
Right.
Yes, that's my title. For
I
this
like
one.
that. I feel the fart on my face. I love that. I've had to fart during a blowjob.
Have you?
I haven't. I don't think. I've
Uncontrollably?
had you ever hear like the stomach moan when like your stomach makes the
grumbly
noise?
thing?
The
Yeah,
grumbly
right,
thing. I've
yeah.
had that during a blowjob, and
Right.
you're like, I hope they didn't
Hungry?
hear. It's not even hungry. I'm like holding in a fart,
Right.
so maybe they've heard that.
Yeah. I think this is probably a sign of a very intense orgasm. You really
I
lose
do
all
too.
fat. It's like when you like pee when you're laughing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
lose
yeah.
all your. You're just letting everything go.
Well, they say when you die, South Park had a running gag where when you die, you shit your pants.
I think that's true.
They-
It's interesting because I hear when you give birth, you also shit your pants.
Right.
So it must be like, you know,
It's a big part-
life moments
Well,
and death moments.
It shows that the asshole is attached to many of your muscles that you're using every day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when she said all faculties were gone, I was like, I thought he shit himself while coming.
Well, maybe if he
Pure
had,
nirvana.
I bet you if he had to go, he probably would have.
Right. Yeah, he's letting go of all the air.
Right.
Do you think that's why he wouldn't want a blowjob? Or do you think he's just never experienced... I'm sure she thinks of it as he's never experienced a blowjob like mine.
This, right. Yeah.
But do you think he's avoided blowjobs because he's had this in the past?
I mean, if that happened to me often when someone went down on me, I might be more self-conscious than usual.
Right, I might be...
Yes.
why don't we skip to the other
Right,
stuff?
Exactly. Unless you felt like, I mean, she said they hadn't said I love you yet. So maybe she like, if you're not at that level of comfort with someone,
Right.
I could see why you'd be like, I don't know if I'm ready to be this vulnerable.
I
in
know,
this- especially if it's smelly, which it sounds like it was.
Right. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Yo, it's like one of those like
No pun intended.
there we go. Well, it's like one of those like devil's curses. You shall get blown, but you'll fart every time you come.
Right.
You know, like it's would you rather
Okay.
fart every time you come, or what would be the like what's the other version? Fart every time you come, or
What's the other? What's the other
I don't
option?
even know. What? Never come at all. Yeah, Jorge, that's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Fart every time you come, or never come at all.
I guess fart every time I come because then I have
Right.
the option.
Right.
Right.
Maybe they're into the fart.
Yeah.
Maybe that turns them on to see you again. I think she was a little turned on.
Well, I think
By
she,
the idea of
she
the
probably-
vulnerability.
Yeah, she's turned on by
Yeah.
the vulnerability and just by the idea that he, you know, she did it. She like
Right.
it was a challenge
Mm-hmm.
to get him off. And
Next
she did
time
it.
she blows him, she should put a balloon up to his asshole and see if it blows it up.
or at least maybe spray some, you know, something pleasant to cover the.
I just put my
cover the
hands
fart.
between my legs to show a balloon being put on my asshole. I just have to
Well,
acknowledge that.
we
for
think
the-
we and the listeners
I don't
thank
know
you
why I
for
had
the
to-
visual.
Yeah, you're welcome, YouTubers. I don't know why I did that.
But I love this. It's a love story for the ages. I hope they talked about this on The Golden Bachelor.
Here are some of Candace's names: the fellatio, the flatulence, and the freakout. I like
Love
that
it.
too.
Okay, let's do
Let's do
another
another one.
email. Hey J&J, longtime listener of the pod and subscriber, Feather. I'm writing because I recently started dating a guy who's older than me. I'm 22. He's 29.
The Golden Bachelor.
About to turn 30 next week.
Ew!
On the cusp
I hope
of
they don't
30.
make out publicly.
Gross. We met on Bumble and we've been on 7 dates so far. We have great
7.
conversational chemistry, amazing sex, common interests and hobbies, and in general, he's got the personality I'm looking for. We really click.
Hey-oh.
But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't completely concerned about our age gap. Well, maybe it's not the age gap that concerns me, but rather the fact that we're at completely different stages of our lives. He's in his last year of his PhD, and I just graduated with my bachelor's. He has his own apartment, he's well traveled, he's a real adult. Whereas I'm living with my parents, still figuring out what my next steps are post-grad, etc. Obviously, I'm a little concerned about what people will think, especially my parents, and I'm also acutely aware that I'm naive 22-year-old who doesn't know shit. But our dates are so fun. We talk for hours. I feel comfortable with him, and it feels like it could be something real. Can you give me a reality check? Is this something that could work long term? Am I being stupid? Thanks for everything you do. Sincerely, loves just a number.
The fact that they're emailing at all shows that they're not being stupid.
Yeah, she's thinking about it.
She's thinking about it. So I don't think you're being like, shut up, Dad. He's 29. I'm 22. We're adults. Like, you're not doing that
Right.
move.
She seems like she's self-aware of the situation.
Totally.
Also, I think she's like, we're in totally different phases. This guy was just in school.
Right. I agree.
So that was, to me, I'm like, he's not so adult that he's been paying his own bills from like, he's in school.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So you were just in school. You guys are kind of in a similar life stage.
And if I was to think of like a male mind 29 is like female mind 26,
Right.
you know, like, and female 22 is like male 24.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if I was to do my own math of where you are maturity wise in
Right.
life,
I don't think he's so real adulty.
right. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not so far away. I do think there's growth from. I think what she needs to be more aware of, like, it's great that you've connected with someone. It's great that he's a nice guy. I think, like, you have to be aware of, like, giving yourself the room to grow yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think, like, sometimes people get in a relationship and that becomes their whole being. Like, I think for you, being 22, moving to a city, giving yourself a roommate, like, opening a bill, you know, like,
Right.
I think, like, and it seems like they have a good handle the way, you
It
know.
sounds like she's having fun.
Sounds like she's having
So
fun.
I would take it at that to
Right.
start with.
And
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying she's a fully grown adult. You know, 22 is young. And I do, listen, I have said for a long time, the growth from 21 to 25 is like pretty
Huge. Yeah.
right? Like, I think you and I
Totally
had that in our own lives, you know,
Right.
like,
22 is like, but she's admitting it. It's like a adult training period.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and she's still living at home. So like, that's even like
Mm-hmm.
just living, I mean, during the pandemic when I'd stay with my parents,
Right.
you become this child like, when's the laundry done, Mom? So I
Yeah.
do understand. I like that she's aware.
Right. And I also think like she might have something, like there is something to the fact that maybe that's in some way appealing to him.
Mm-hmm.
I also think when you're 29 and you're in school, sometimes other 29-year-olds or people close to that age are looking for someone maybe a little bit more established in their career potentially. And so for him, it might be appealing that you're younger and haven't really figured out your life yet because he's maybe not fully there yet either.
I'm with you. That was the first thing I thought of is like, he's getting out of school, you're getting out of school.
Right.
That's the first thing I
And
thought.
that's
of. And
probably appealing for him.
absolutely. And he gets to be like the man.
Right.
As opposed to like
The
29
adult, like she said, yeah.
Right. But like a 29-year-old woman, you know, might have worked at a law firm for
Right.
7 years
And
at
she
this
might be
point.
like, I don't want someone in school for their PhD, which
Right.
again is not, I think it's great that he's doing that. There's nothing against that. But I think some people, women, like you said, women at 29
Right.
might be like, well, I'm looking to get married and I don't think you can afford a ring. Or
Right.
something.
And he
Yeah.
might not be ready to get married. He's looking to like date for a few years.
Right.
And yeah, again, like context is everything. There's a lot of context here that like I think you and I are on the same page, but I think we'd also be on the same page if she was like, I'm 22, I never went, you know, I'm living at home and this 29-year-old Wall Street guy found me on Tinder and you know, I don't give a shit that what my parents think and he wants me to move in with him tomorrow. You know, we'd be like,
Right.
this is a little weird and fucked up to, you know, but the details of the story, you go, the one warning I would have is like, be 22, like hang out with your friends, do the things. And if he's like, hey, why are you going to this tailgate
Why are you
this
going to
weekend?
SantaCon?
Right. Why are you going to, you got to be like, because I'm 20 fucking 2.
Right.
Like I want to, this seems fun. So don't let if his
Real adultiness.
judgments,
Right. Mhm.
you have to say, well, maybe we're not on the same page and have to
Right.
let him go, which is the hard thing to do at 22 to a 29-year-old.
Totally. But I also think that one of the joys of being 22, you're young, you're having fun.
Right.
Do this for as long as it's fun.
Yeah. Have fun.
yeah.
And that's the hardest advice to take.
I know,
you
but it's the hardest. But the older you get, the harder the advice that is to take. At 22, it should be easier to take that advice than it is at 35. You say to a 35-year-old woman dating, just have fun. They're like, fuck you.
Right. No, I agree with that. I just think, like what, I guess like, how do you warn her? Like, I just think when you get with a 29-year-old guy and you start doing 29-year-old things, you just forget to do the 22-year-old things. And then he's like, well, why would you do that? It's like, yeah, I want
Right.
to do those things that seem fun. Like, listen, I don't want to go to a nightclub right now. Like
I don't
she
either.
should.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned they went to Vegas. And I was like,
There is a certain age where going to a club is like disgusting to you, I think.
right. And it's got to be so specific. Like
Right.
if for me to go to, like if someone had a bachelor party and they invited me,
Right.
we'd
There
have
has
to
be
have
a table,
like a table
security guards,
leading us there.
food.
Food, right. Seats.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that was funny. I remember being 22 and going to about to go to a club. And my mom being like, "So what do you do there?" Like, she's like, "There's no food."
right.
I'm like, "No, there's like a table with like alcohol." She's like, "But what are you eating?"
Right.
I'm like, that's not the point, right?
Adderall.
It's 11. Right? It's midnight.
Yeah.
Right.
That's I my friend went to Vegas and she said that they good friend and hilarious comedian Lisa Traeger went to Vegas on like a girls trip.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did you do? And she was like, we had a nice dinner, and then Saturday, like we did a pool day at Mandalay Bay. There was a lazy river, and we had like the cabana.
Sounds nice.
And and then she goes, and then we did dinner, and then people went out, and I was like, that to me, if I got to that dinner, it'd be a miracle.
Right.
And then after that dinner, I'd be like so happy in my comfy cozies, covers over my nose, and then I'd be smelling my own farts, ready to be in bed.
Yeah.
And that would be like a perfect day. To someone 22, they might go, "You're going
Loser?
to bed?"
Right.
Fucking
We're in
weirdo.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And so again, neither are wrong.
Right.
She has to be confident enough, and it seems from her email, aware enough to go, I like what I like, and the judgments of a 29-year-old might mean that we shouldn't date.
Right.
But if there's no judgments and he's
Yeah.
like, go do your thing and you're great together, this can work.
Totally. And again, if it stops being fun, reevaluate.
Right. UUP@Betches.com, UUP@Betches.com. Keep sending your emails. We love your emails. We love your awkward sex. We love everything you guys do with this show. Yeah, I'm a fan of the audience. Can I just give a little shout out?
They're the best.
Great.
Thank you guys for DMing and
thoughtfulness.
stories that you put up. We appreciate all of it. And you know what? If you really love this show, we haven't asked for this in a while. Go rate and review it and subscribe
Right.
on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere you get your podcasts.
And if you're a subscriber to the podcast version, why don't you just go on YouTube and subscribe there too?
just do it.
Just give yourself the option. Have it ready for when you need it.
Get all the facial expressions. You get the Gary Turner interview. You can watch his beautiful old ass face. It's great.
His BOAF, his bow off, beautiful OS.
That's gonna be a
old-ass face.
TikTok thing in no time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I should have said that in my preview. Look at this beautiful old ass face
Love it.
with his wrinkles and shit. He couldn't have been nicer. And
He was the best. Yes.
the shocking part was how good of a lead he is.
Oh yeah. Diamond
He's-
in the rough.
TV ready. It was unbelievable.
I think the Midwest is where they go to like find stars, untainted stars.
Well, what do they say? The Midwest accent.
Yeah.
That's the news accent is from the Midwest. That's our,
Feels like home.
That's
Even if
home.
you're not from there.
That's
Yeah.
right. The touch of Gary.
Touch.
We've all
A touch of Gary.
a little touch of Gary.
Love that.
This episode is actually brought to you by ABC's The Golden Bachelor. Finding the one can be difficult, but is it possible to find true love twice in one lifetime? ABC's first ever Golden Bachelor is showing everyone that you're never too old to find love again. For the first time in Bachelor Nation history, our leading man, 72-year-old Gary Turner, will be dating 22 women, ranging in ages from 60 to 75. Watch new episodes of The Golden Bachelor Thursdays at 8, 7 Central on ABC and streaming on Hulu. And to kick off, we couldn't have given a more natural push towards this show in the
Yes.
beginning of
But
this
if,
episode.
If you still need more convincing.
Right. And to celebrate the Golden Bachelor series, we are playing red flag, green flag, or gold flag. The goal of the game is to see which one of these scenarios is a red flag, meaning you should run, a green flag, meaning no harm, and a gold flag, aka the big yes. Are you ready to play?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're going to do the first one is living situations.
Okay.
So they live with their parents, they live with 20 other singles, they live with 8 cats.
Okay.
Red flag, green flag, gold flag.
It's tough because, like, what is the age here? I guess it doesn't matter really what the age is, actually, if you think about
Let's
it.
say 30.
Okay, they're 30.
We'll
in
give
all
it
these
30
scenarios.
on all these scenarios.
Okay.
30, they live with their parents. 30, they live with 20 other singles. 30, they live with 8 cats.
Okay. I think. Okay, I think red flag, they live with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
I think green flag, they live with 8 cats. And gold flag, they live with 20 other singles.
It's funny. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Gold flag, 20 other singles. That means they're like a fun person.
People like them as a room. I mean, 20
Right.
20 is a lot. I'd love to see their place.
Right.
I hope they have their own room at least.
Right. I hope they're not in a bunk bed.
Right. They live in Bachelor Mansion, I guess.
Right. I guess
Yeah.
so. Living with, let's say that like more
They're in,
realistically.
they're in a retirement home. That's really.
Realistically, let's say they had 2 other roommates and they were single. This is great to
fine.
me. I mean, I think it's overhyped, the idea of 30 roommates. I'm like, 30, that's cool that they were like, they found a living situation that works for them. I think when you're 30 with roommates out of like fun,
Here's the thing.
it's cool and not a necessity. You're like, what's going on in life a little bit.
Right.
But I get it.
I agree. It's like when you're 30 and you live with roommates, it's like maybe it's kind of like a plus if you have your own place, but I don't think it's like a necessity. Living with your parents is different to me, and I think that that's the real that's more of a red flag to me at 30. Unless
Right.
it's like a very temporary situation.
I'd have to hear a story.
Right.
I need a little TED talk to go with your parent
Right.
situation.
And what
Like,
your plan is to get out of there.
right. I went home because I want to save a bunch of money. I work as a lawyer. Like, that's a different thing than,
Right.
I don't know when I'm leaving. They do the laundry. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like,
at 30, that's not great.
I
Yeah.
guess gold flag, living with 20 other singles. Green flag, 8 cats. Red flag, their parents. But I actually, the red flag and green flag could be interchangeable. If they live with their parents with a good story, green flag. If they live with the cats and they're just like, I don't notice them.
I don't like cats.
I don't like
8
8.
cats. That's a lot. 8 anything is too many for me.
Also, cats are just
what are you, a
like,
breeder?
Right. 8 parrots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just living.
8 of anything.
Yeah, I
is-
don't know. 8 of anything.
Um,
If it was 2 cats, cats are also just annoying.
they're also like on everything.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
They're always like on the counter. They're on like dogs at least are on the floor or like
Right.
maybe the couch, but cats are just I don't know,
8 big
stealth.
fat lazy dogs is way better than 8 cats.
I agree, and I mean maybe we're biased because we're not cat people.
I once slept at a girl's place. The cat would get in between us and start pushing
I'm
me
saying,
away.
They're very like
yeah.
stealthy. Like a dog at least is like a little bit more like I don't know, endearing in that way. Okay. Your red flag, green flag, gold flag. When you're still getting to know each other, they ask you out on group dates with 3 other people they like. They only want to be exclusive when they're ready to propose. They've never had a serious relationship. Okay. To me, obviously, red flag is when you're still getting to know each other. They ask you on group dates with 3 other people they like.
Right. It's not like Friends.
Oh, no. I think it's like 3 other dating prospects.
Oh.
Right. Yeah.
In what world are people doing these
That's
things?
crazy.
No.
Right.
No, you're out. Or I'm on The Bachelor.
Right. Or literally.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be, I'd be out for that.
I'm out with that.
Okay. I think they've never had a serious relationship, green flag, and no, they've never had a serious relationship, gold flag, and they only want to be exclusive when they're ready to propose, green flag.
I'm flopping.
Okay.
Flip flop. I kind of like, we'll be exclusive once we propose.
I had a feeling you'd
Yeah,
be interested
that's
in
the
that.
gold
I
flag
had
to
a weird
me.
thought that you'd be into that one.
Yeah, I like that one. I like
Um,
that, like, hey, let's like just let bygones be bygones until we get to that point.
Well, to me, that would be like tough because it's like, okay, we're getting engaged and you've never had. So we're committing to marry each other, but you've
It's unrealistic.
but you've never dated me exclusively.
Right.
Right. You've always had other.
I'm in a
people around.
relationship, but we're not calling it a relate. You know what
Right.
is that label
Yeah.
that we've heard before?
They've never had a serious relationship. To me, isn't like a big deal.
I hate that thing that people think that's the worst thing that could ever happen.
No,
To me,
yeah.
that's like you're inventing problems when you're like, they've never had a relationship before. We all have never had a relationship before until we
Right.
had one. You know, I
Also,
don't-
relationship to me is like is words that mean different things to different people.
Right.
So you could have been dated a lot
Mhm.
and never had a serious relationship, but everyone you go on dates with is a relationship of sorts.
I agree with that.
So-
There's too much made of the never been in relationships person.
Agreed.
Celebrations. You ready?
I'm
Last
ready.
one.
Okay.
They would rather give you money than gifts so you can go get whatever you want. They celebrate every month anniversary. After a couple weeks of seeing you, they text you on your birthday, but don't wish you a happy birthday. What do you think?
I don't think any of these are that bad, if I'm being
No.
totally honest.
I'm with you.
I would say red flag, they celebrate every month anniversary. That's annoying.
Okay.
Then green flag, after a couple of weeks of seeing you, they text you on your birthday but don't wish you a happy birthday. That happens. How would they know? You wouldn't necessarily tell someone it's your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then gold flag, they would rather give you money than gifts so you can just get what you want. I love getting whatever I want and not getting a bad gift.
It's so funny. We are
Very off?
opposites.
Okay, what are you on here?
Gold flag, after a couple weeks of seeing you,
You like that?
they text you on your birthday, but don't wish you a happy birthday. I'm just like, cool. Birthday's not a thing.
Okay.
Wait, you said that was a gold flag.
Did I say that was a gold flag? I think I...
No,
I said the gifts.
Right,
money,
right,
Yeah,
right.
the gifts
No,
was
we're the
gold. I said that
opposite.
was a green flag.
gold flag, couple weeks of seeing you, they text you on your birthday, but never wish you a happy
You
birthday.
like that.
I'm cool with that.
Okay.
I like that birthdays aren't a big deal. Good for us.
What if you were dating someone like 2 years? They text you on your birthday, no happy
I'd be like, are you forgetting something? You know, like I'd be like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Red flag or green flag as they celebrate month anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
like, oh, nice check-in. I know where we stand. I know what you think we are in the relationship. I don't have any guessing games on like how serious you think this is.
Okay.
Fine. You're like 3 months
Don't
in.
you-
I'm like,
I-
really?
You're
Okay.
Not, you're not like they're expecting you to get them a gift.
I didn't think a gift was expected, but maybe a text. Happy 3-month anniversary. I go,
All right,
oh,
fine.
that's where we are.
If it's just a text, that changes things. But if they're like, where are we going to celebrate our
it would
4-month anniversary?
still be. It's not good,
Okay.
but it's still better than. I just think the person that you're like, yeah, give me the cash. Like,
That's
you know,
fair.
there's like a weird element of like, no. How about no? You know, how about I give
I
you
guess.
a gift, you enjoy my
What if they give
gift.
you a gift card?
But I'm saying they would. Give me a gift card.
Yeah.
No, I don't want your gift card. I don't want your money.
I guess.
On
That's
my
fair. You might have
birthday.
convinced me. that
Yeah,
that's
I don't
weird.
know, just
so
that-
that's your red flag.
Yeah, to me, it's like that translates into other parts of the relationship where they're like, here, take the money.
I feel like you would like to do that.
I might do. Nah, I wouldn't even do that. I'd just
Okay.
be like, let's just have a nice hug. I'd rather nice hug on a
Right. So
birthday.
you're no gift. Your team.
no gift. I'm
gift.
team hug.
Okay.
Team birthday
well,
hugs.
that's a good
and
question.
engagement hugs.
Candace,
no
would you,
rings.
Would you rather? I don't know about that.
Get that in
Candace,
there.
would you rather have no gift or get money on your birthday?
I just
Or a
feel
hug.
like I'm gonna pass on the hug.
Or option 3, it's a hug.
I
Yeah.
feel like I could get a hug any day. I'm gonna pass.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But a birthday hug is like
a
a
hug is patronizing.
I just
a
feel
nice
like
squeeze.
if they get you money instead of like actually thinking about a gift, like I like at least try to think of something.
So I'm saying no gift or money.
I'll take the money, but I won't be happy
I
about
know,
it.
Right. Imagine a guy just looking at you and just peeling off 200s going, get yourself something nice, toots.
It's in or
like-
it's,
better
or
than
it's
a
in a
hug.
it's in a card.
in a card like it's your grandma.
Or they Venmo you. Happy birthday, babe.
I would love to meet the woman who's like, he Venmo'd me.
Oh my
Like that's
God.
happy about that.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I knew someone whose boyfriend who wound up breaking up with her got her a cooking class for one.
for one,
For one.
have fun. That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah.
It's a crazy, yeah. Here's
The
your
writing was on
ticket
the
to
wall.
one. Yeah, right. Hope you learn how to cook for one. It's so sad.
Well, Thank you to our sponsor, ABC's The Golden Bachelor. The first ever Golden Bachelor is showing everyone that you're never too old to find love. Gary was married to his high school sweetheart for 43 years before her unfortunate passing 6 years ago. With the support of his daughters and granddaughters, he's setting out to prove you can find true love twice in one lifetime. Watch new episodes of The Golden Bachelor Thursdays at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Well, we solved dating again, Jordana.
We did it. I'm proud of us. It's been a day.
It's been a day.
Yes.
We'll be back on Sunday with a fantastic episode with special guest Emma Willman. And we'll be back with that.
Yes. Bye. The You Up podcast is produced by Jorge Morales-Pico, Sean Kilby, and Candice Maniga. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico and Shannon Sassone. Social media by Candice Maniga. Guest booking by Ali Friedlander. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.